Good morning, guys. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you guys are doing great. God bless each and every one of you this morning. I am super excited. I am on my way down to my buddy Mark's, and we're going to spend the day in the shop putting my 2018 Thanksgiving buck together. Last Sunday I brought down the form and the earbuds and the horns, and we got all that done last Sunday, and I didn't even think about videoing it. I was so excited to get it started. So I'll show you the point that we're at now when I get down here, and probably gonna do like a time lapse maybe of some of it. And if you guys haven't seen video 1 and video 2, there's 2 videos on down the list there. Go check them out if you're interested in taxidermy. If you don't like blood and guts and that kind of stuff, you may not want to watch it. This part won't be bad though. Anyways, I think he's got another deer he's gonna be putting together as well. And anyways, thought you guys want to tag along, check it out, and we'll see you in the taxidermy shop. All right, guys. Got Wani over there in the cage.
You won him last time.
We got the rack on, got the ear butts and liners on. Put the texture in here. Getting ready to wash the capes off and get started with it. I love it. Can't wait till he's hanging in the living room. Alright guys, mine just got out of the tumbler, and it goes for a tumble in the sawdust. Now what's this do pretty much, Mark? Just shine the...
Helps clean the hair, shines it, dries it up some. It's still a little wet, but it helps it dry a little bit faster when it's on the... As far as the outside hair, grooming wise, it helps it dry a little faster. You grab a blade. I can train Max how to get what I need when I need it.
Yeah, it'd save you some time, wouldn't it? So you can go over it and flesh a little bit more on it now?
Right now I'm going to remove the ear cartilage so it'll accept the ear liner. And then we'll try our ear liner in it.
Okay. Couldn't believe how tedious, some of it is.
Oh yeah, like that right there. If I move that blade just a little bit more, I'm going through skin about as thick as paper.
Yeah. This process, guys, I'm actually taking a tool called a stout rougher and roughing up the foam in preparation for the glue and the hide.
I like it when they just slide right on. Yeah. You're like, dang, I should have went another inch bigger on the form, but
Hide puller, remember that?
yep. Once you get that back cut slip over, it's all game from there. I'm always a little leery. I've done a few years that I actually ordered a cape or a form that was a touch bigger and too much trouble trying to get the dang thing on.
Oh, that one was tight. Just a little bit of sliding you did. It's good to have a little wiggle room. Ain't nobody gonna be looking at the body on this bad boy anyway. Everybody's gonna be looking at the rack.
Yeah, I forgot it was that big. Somebody come here tonight and they said, "Holy cow, look at that!" Yeah, it's a good one.
Here, Mark is using a Dremel tool to open up the nasal passage and trying to make each side pretty much parallel so that the hide will lay in there just right. And that'll all be painted and finished in the finishing process once the skin is dried. Here, Mark is adding the eyes with hot glue, and I'm actually working on building up the skull base with clay and kind of sculpting that to look like the actual back of the deer's head. You could tell in the earlier part of the video that was kind of blocky looking where the rack was sitting on top of the form, but I added some clay around the bases and built all that up, and it actually looked like the back of his head when I was finished. Once we was finished with the eyes and the clay sculpting for the back of the head, started adding hide paste to glue the hide to the form, and Mark's working on the one he had going on, and then once I got the glue on there, he come over and we started putting the hide on and trying to get everything lined up and around the burrs on the antlers, and getting ready to sew it up. And that's where I'm taking off now, is with the sewing. There's a pretty good section, maybe 10 or 12 inches long, that goes from the middle of the rack down the back of the neck that has to be sewed up, because you have to cut it to get the antlers out. When you start to take the deer apart, you've got to get the antlers off without messing the hide up. So that's an incision that you make, and then you open it up and you just kind of fold his ears down, and once you get all that opened up, you can cut the antlers out and then finish skinning the face out. You get all that done. It's a pretty tedious job. You want to keep all your eyelashes and whiskers and all that stuff. So you really got to watch what you're doing when you skin it out. But yeah, this process takes a little while, especially if you haven't done it in a long time. At this point, I've got the sewing completed, and when I caped this deer out, I wanted to make sure I left plenty of hide, because I wasn't exactly sure what form I was going to go with. And shoulder mount or pedestal mount like I chose, you've got to have more of the back shoulder and a little bit more hide. So Mark's trimming it up now, and once he gets it trimmed the way he wants it, I actually step in. He staples. He done a bunch of staples, and then I took some push pins and set the push pins. Actually didn't get that on video, but here we're adding the hide paste, and Mark's stepping in, and I'm stepping aside and let him take care of this part, because this will make or break your mount. He's actually tucking the lips and setting the eyes and getting everything lined up, and trying to make everything proportional with clay. He's already clayed it at this point, but he had to actually add a little clay around the deer's right eye there to get it to match the left eye. And then you line up your throat patch and your brisket down on the lower part of the form. You want to make sure your hairline matches up, and get everything set, get your ears set. We actually card the ears and set the ears so the ears will dry. We're getting the deer ready for the drying process here, and it'll dry for a couple weeks anyhow. But Yeah, he's still working on the eyes there. He's very particular with his eyes and his noses, and I really like the way he does his deer heads. His deer heads look great. At this point, folks, we're trying to get finished up. He's finishing the nose and getting the skin and all set around the nose, and then he packs the nasal cavity with plastic bags, and we're just going to let the deer dry. It'll just hang and dry until we're ready to finish it here in a couple weeks. But thank you guys for tagging along and hanging out with us in the shop. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned something. And as always, appreciate you guys watching the channel. God bless each and every one of you. And we will see you on the next one when we do the finish work.